So, hi team. So we are here to discuss one of the most recent updates in the field of AI, that is Agentic AI or AI agents. First generative AI came, and generative AI makes the AI capable of generating something new, right? Some new text, some image, some kind of content, right? That AI can now start generating on its own, right? Now, this agentic AI is just the smarter way of using the generative AI part, all right? So, in this particular session, we are going to deep dive into it. We'll try to understand what is agentic AI, what are the different things, what are the different terms that we should know around agentic AI, as well as we will do a simple lab to create a AI agent, and we'll see how actually the AI agent works. All right, so let's go ahead. First thing that we will see over here, what is AI agent? So this is your table of content. First, we'll try to understand what are AI agents, what are LLM like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Thereafter, what is function calling in LLM? What are vector database? AI agents like AutoGen, LangChain, LangGraph. Thereafter, what is API? And then we'll create our own agent. Right. So this is a flow that we will follow. All right. So how can we define an AI agent? We can say AI agent is just like a computer software. It's just a computer program, okay, that acts independently, right? That means if you give an instruction to it, it will just respond to you independently, and it will be very much goal oriented, right? Like when you are using ChatGPT. So with the ChatGPT, you can do a lot of things. Okay, you can ask it to write a article for you. You can ask it to do a data analysis for you. You can ask it to create a video script for you. So a lot of things you can do with the help of ChatGPT, that is a LLM. But this guy is what very much goal oriented. Okay, it just do a particularly very much focused for its goal. That only a particular goal is defined, and it will just do that particular. It will just work to achieve that particular goal, right? Often using the AI models, obviously with the help of AI models, it will perform, right? Now, what are the characteristics of AI agent? It perceives the environment, that means it takes the input from you, right? Thereafter, it will plan and think around it, that how to, that means whatever the instruction you will provide. So that instruction it will try to analyze and understand, and based on that, it will act, and then it will give you the answer. Right, it will just give you. So you may think like, okay, this is what generative AI is also doing, right? Like LLM, like ChatGPT is also doing. Obviously, it is also doing the similar thing. The difference is it is very much goal oriented. Okay, like you can have your own data to build a AI agent for specifically for your company, right? You can build a AI agent specifically for your job, for your assistant. Okay, you can create your own assistant with the help of AI agent. For example, you need an AI agent which can read the mail, okay, and can respond automatically. So the goal of that AI agent is fixed. What is the goal? It can read your mail and can again make an automatic reply, right, for most of the mail, right? Now you want to decide that in which case it should respond, in which case it should not respond. So that also you can define. So whatever the rules you define, if those rules are matches, okay, if those rules are matching with the mail received, it will make a reply. If those rules are not matching with the mail received, it will not reply. So it is very much goal oriented. It is doing a job of your assistant, right? You can create an AI agent which can kind of a plan a calendar for you, right? You can create an AI agent which can search a topic for you over the Google or anywhere. So all these AI agents are very much goal specific and will act as an assistant for you. All right. ChatGPT is, it will just use the ChatGPT in the backend. We'll see how it works. Now there are a few things that we need to know. How AI agent works, it's just like a smart robot which listens to your goal first. Then it will find out all the possible way to achieve it, right? And then it will take the action step by step. Okay, first it will try to achieve the first goal, second goal, third goal. Like some examples, there is a chatbot assistant we want to create which can answer the customer queries. So what it will do, it will first read the message, then search the info. It can search from the web, As well as it can search from any document that you had shared to it. Suppose you had shared your own document, like for example your own company profile, or suppose some PDF, so right, or any kind of OCR data or any kind of data you had shared to it. So it will just read the info from that, and then it will try to give the accurate reply, right? Like for example, you are selling some product, okay, and your product is having some warranty, right? So customer is asking about the warranty. Now there is no human required to reply about the warranty, okay. You just create a document and you just mention all the details about your product, how to configure it, what are the warranty, what are the steps to follow. Now whenever someone asks anything related to it, right, like what is the warranty, or how to install it, right? So AI agent will just go through your document and reply like, okay, these are the process that you should follow for installation, right? If there is an error, right? So like some product installation is going on, your customer is facing some problem, right? So customer will just put the thing that okay, these are the things I'm facing. Okay, there is a red light glowing, there is a yellow light glowing. So in your document, just mention that what red light means, what yellow light means. So your AI agent will go through the document, will identify, okay, this is a red light, that means this is what you need to fix. All right, and AI agent will just act as assistant for them. Travel planner, if you want to do, like for example, I want to create a travel planner. With the help of AI agent, we can create, you can say like that, plan a 5-day budget to Goa, and AI agent will just go through all the web, find out all the flight details, hotel details, right, everything, and just accumulate everything and give it to you. Now you think that, okay, this thing ChatGPT can do. Yeah, obviously it will use ChatGPT or LLaMA or Gemini or some of the LLM model in the backend, but it will do a specific task. That means there is an AI agent which will only do the travel planning. It will not do anything. Like suppose I am just running a travel planner website, right? So I need a lesser human. Okay, what I'll do, I'll just create a AI agent, and whenever someone asks for the code, automatically the AI agent will make a response, right? So that's how it will work. Thereafter, coding agent, we can just create an AI agent which can help people in the coding. You say like build a website for the recipe. So AI agent will just write the code and create a simple website. Personal email agent, it will just read your email. It will just set the priority of it and then draft a reply and then schedule a meeting, right? So like suppose someone is asking to have a personalized meeting. So it will automatically draft the reply and schedule a meeting with the clients, right? You just need to tell it like when it can schedule, right? So that you can just tell through the prompt, right? The popular AI agent frameworks are there through which we can create the AI agent. We have AutoGPT, we have Agent GPT, we have LangChain, CrewAI, Super AGI, Baby AGI. So these are the frameworks through which we create the AI agents, right? Like we are going to use Flowise. Okay, so we'll deep dive into it when we are going to create the agents. Now the point is, there are a few things that we need to know, okay, before we go into the hands-on part. LLM. Because all the AI agents will use LLM in the backend, and LLM stands for what? Large language model, right? Now what LLM do? LLM is basically, you can say, a model which is being trained on a huge amount of text data, right? Or data that we can read, that we can understand. So similar to that data, like so much text data were just collected from the web, from the book, from website, from so many areas, right? And based on that, there is a model created, and we call it a large language model, which is being created to understand a human language. Okay, it can answer your questions, it can write an email, it can blog, code, summarize. Now how it has been created, I'll give a high level understanding of it. First of all, you need to understand what is LLM. It is a model, AI model, which can understand a human language, right, and can make a response out of it. All right, now how LLM works? You ask a question like, for example, explain machine learning. LLM just convert these things into tokens. What are tokens? Each word is a token. Like explain is 1 token, machine is 2 token, learning is 3rd token, right? So all the tokens are identified. Thereafter, it will predict the next word, or it will just predict the answer out of it. Okay, how will it predict the answer? See, when a LLM is working, first it will identify the tokens, right? So here what I said, we have a token like explain, right? Thereafter, I have a token like machine. Okay, thereafter I have a token like learning. Right now, these models will do what? will convert this thing into a numeric form, right? So there is just some numeric vector for each word that is already being stored in the word vector, right? Like 0 0.3, 0 0.1, 0 0.7 kind of thing. Okay, so all these guys are having some numeric vector. Okay, now how these numeric vectors are defined, I'll tell you, don't worry about it, right? So 0 0.2, 0 0.6, like this, right? Now based on this numeric vector, LLM model compares this numeric vector from the word vector. Okay, in the word vector I have the information about, or you can say, vector database. Okay, there is a vector database. Okay, in the vector database actually so many, like thousands of words are there for which vector form is already stored. Okay, this is what, this is its vector form, right? That will try to identify, like just compare the vector that you are giving in the form of words with the vector that it is already having. Okay, and then it will try to find out the most relevant answer by comparing the closeness, like how these vectors are close to which words that are existing over here. And based on that, the model is being trained to find out the specific area from the vector database, right? Which is very much close to these words. And based on that, again, it will frame your answer and give it back to you, right? So this is a fully trained machine learning model. Now it is trained using a very huge set of GPUs or data storage resources. So it's not a simple job to create LLM model, right? So it first convert into token. Thereafter, it predicts the next word using the pattern it learned during the training. A complete training is already done. Here we are not going to create any LLM. It is already created. LLM model is already there. We have to use it through our agents, AI agents. Right now, it will generate the answer. There are few LLM model that you can see: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, LLaMA, Mistral. Few of them you may have used also. If not, then you can just explore these guys. Right. Next, we have what? Function calling. This is important. Okay, see what happened. Function calling is calling some other software from the LLM model. Okay, for example, if you ask a LLM that what is the weather today in Delhi. Okay, so what I said, LLM is basically trained on historical data, some past data. Okay, historical data. Why it is being trained? It is being trained on historical data so that it can understand a human language, understand a human language. Okay, and can make a response of it. Okay, that means LLM is having a data which is already happened, the past data, right? It is not having a current data, right? But you are asking that weather in Delhi, right? Now what happens if you're asking this thing? That means you want a current weather, right? So if you want a current weather, what do you want? You want that this LLM should call some weather app. Okay, and from that weather app it should pick the information and then give the response to me. Okay, so this process is called what? Function calling. Okay, that means LLM is calling some other app to get the answer, right? Or suppose you are asking a LLM to schedule a meeting for you at 4 p.m. today. So it need to do what? It need to call app called calendar app, right? And then it will schedule a meeting for you. That is also what? Function calling, right? So function calling in LLM means the model can decide when to call a real function from your code or an external API to get up to date or a specific information. Right. Now, why is it useful? It is useful because LLM like ChatGPT or Claude are smart, but they can't fetch the live weather. They can't access your calendar. They can't search the real-time database. Right? Like suppose you have a kind of a database in which you stored all the employees' details. Now you want to know who are the employees who are absent today. Okay, who are the employee who was absent since last more than 5 days in a month, right? So, or who are the employee who didn't took any kind of leave since last 6 months, right? So for that you need to run some SQL query. But if you connect a LLM with your database, so your LLM will perform a function calling to whom? To the database. Okay, your LLM will do what? Will perform a function calling. Okay, function calling to the database. Okay, get the data from here and can show it back to you. Right. So a LLM is accessing a other software through a function calling. This process is called function calling. I hope you understood. If you could not, then you can just comment down your whatever the questions that you have. I'll try to answer. This is an example, like what is the weather in Delhi today? Sorry, I can't access the real-time data. A simple LLM. But a LLM with function calling can access the data, right, and give it back to you. That means if you are using a ChatGPT and you are asking the same question, and ChatGPT is giving you the answer like this, okay, is giving you the answer like this. That means it is not calling function. Okay, it is not having the function. You are not using function calling. But if it is giving this answer, that means in the background it is using what function calling, okay, to call the weather app. All right. Now, example in ChatGPT, like what is the cheapest? This is one more function calling thing, right? Here, LLM sends like search flight. This one, it is performing the function calling. Function replies like this, and then LLM had given you the answer. All right. Now we need to understand embedding models. As we, what are embedding models? We know that system or of computers can only understand numerical values. Okay, it can't understand the non-numerical characters or something. So if I want my system to train on a particular text data, the first step is what we need to convert all the text data into the numerical form, right? So the process of converting the text data into the numerical form is called what? Word embedding. Okay, converting the text data into numerical form is called what? Word embedding. Same thing written over here. And word embedding converts a text, images, or code into a vector, which is just a list of numbers. So computer can understand their meaning and similarity. Okay. Now you can't compare apple and banana directly as a text. But if you will turn them into numbers like this, apple is 0 0.1, 0 0.3, 0 0.9, 0 0.2, 0 0.0.85. Now they are all, why, how a system understands that they both are fruit? Because the fruit, the dimension for the fruit, the dimension representing the fruit is having a higher numerical value. Now how it works, how everything basically tuned down into these vectors and all, let me give you a scenario of it, right? So to explain this thing, I'll give you a scenario over here. Let's say I have some words, okay, like I'll just take some words. Let's say I have a word like apple. Just a minute. Apple is a healthy fruit. Okay. Thereafter, cricket player eats banana to stay energized. Okay, like this. Okay, now suppose this is a document. Okay, because LLM is basically trained on huge set of document, but let's say I have only two sentences. Okay, and on these two sentences I want to train my LLM model, right? So what I'll do, first of all, I need to capture all the unique words, right? So what are the unique words? I have a unique word like this: apple, okay, is a healthy fruit, right? Cricket, right? Player eats banana, right? To stay energized. Okay, so here I just took all the unique words. Now each unique words will be given a numeric value. Let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Okay, so all the words got some unique values, right? Now next what happened? We need to define some dimensions. Okay, dimensions like, suppose I know that in my document I have so many words, right? So some of the words are, let's say, representing fruit. Okay, some of the words are representing, let's say, game. Okay, some of the words are representing, let's say, emotion. Okay, some of the words are representing, let's say, some other things, right? So let's consider these things only. Okay, So now what happened? I'll define a kind of a vector over here. That means 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 kind of thing. Okay, I have defined it, right? Now, let's say I'm talking about that. Suppose in my whole word database, I have only 3 types of word. Some of them are fruit, some of them are representing games, some of them are representing emotions. Right? Now, let's say I took over here the words. Okay, so here also I'll take the words. Let's say I just want to make you understand how actually system understand that, okay, this is your fruit, this is your game. So here I have, let's say I took the word apple. Okay, and I took over here, let's say banana. Okay, cricket. Okay, player, like this. Okay, now these guys will also be given a numeric value, okay, so that they can be separated, right? So 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right, this is what will be given. All right, now you know what? Now we have the numeric form of it, but you know, if suppose I have 10,000 words, right? So this vector size will be of 10,000, very big problem, right? For training and everything, right? So now what I'll do, I'll create a database, or I can say I'll create a X and Y, features and labels, right? So I want a system to learn about the fruits and game and everything separately. So here I'll define X and here I'll define Y. Okay, so for the X, it is apple. Okay, so apple is representing fruit, so this is Y. Banana, this is banana. So banana is also representing fruit. Okay, thereafter let's say cricket. So cricket is what? This one. Okay, so this is representing game. Okay, player, let's say this one. So this is also representing what? Game. Okay, right? Now based on this, what will happen? We will create a neural network which will get trained. So neural network will be created like this, 0. That means first we have input neurons, only 4 neurons, because I think that I have 4 input neurons, right? It may be 1,000, 10,000 depending upon the situation. Thereafter we can have some hidden neurons, and thereafter we can have output neuron that will be equals to number of this thing, right? Now what happens? These guys will be connected over here using the weights like this. All right. I'm just trying to explain you how word embedding actually done, right? So that you can understand the whole process. Obviously, we don't have to do it, but understanding is important, right? If you're using Agentic AI, right? Now what happened? The first information will be given for the training. Okay, that is 1, 0, 0, 0. Now this will feed through the neural network, weights will just change, right? And then we have an output over here. This output will be compared with this guy, right? That means this whole process, the feed forward process and backward propagation, okay, we'll try to do what? We'll try to make sure that this particular neuron value should be maximum, right? And others should be minimum, okay? Others should be lesser. That means if you had given this entity, you may get a word vector like this, 0.87, 0.12, 0.39, like this, something like this. Okay. Then you give the next thing for the training. Okay. So for the next thing, when you are feeding for the training, let's say next sample that you are feeding for the training like this. Okay. This will again go through the same process. For the next thing, that is, this is your apple, this is your banana. Okay, so for the banana also the same target is there. So banana also, what will happen? Your model will try to maximize the value of this neuron. So it can be, let's say, 0.91, 0.13, 0.17 kind of. Okay, now you feed the third sample. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 0. Now for the third sample, the target is what? The target over here is 0, 1, 0. Okay, this is your target for the third sample. That means your neural network will try to create a word vector like this, 0.17, 0.85, 19. Okay, and this process will go on again, right, for the fourth guy as well. Okay, so that would be also 0.12, 0.80, 0.76. In this way, we create a word vector. Now this word vector will have what? Will actually, with this word vector, actually your system can understand that which are the words very similar to each other, which are the words belong to same family, right? So whenever in future you feed Apple, so your word vector, or you can say the vector database, is having the areas defined, okay, for each kind of word. That means for each family of word. Like for example, for the fruits, it knows that these values will be higher. Okay, for the game, these value will be higher. For the emotion, some other dimension value will be higher, right? So in this way, your system, right, whatever the system, that means your model can easily recognize that what are the different words which are very similar to each other, right? So if you say like good or you say nice, so your LLM model can understand that, okay, good and nice are very similar thing. Okay, so based on that, it can recognize the word and the closeness of different words together. And then based on that, after the word vectorization is done or word embedding is done, like I had shown you how word embedding is done, then we train the model using different technologies like transformer, RNN, or some other kind of neural networks. All right, so this is called word embedding. And after doing the word embedding, that means converting the word into vector, we just store all the numeric value in a database that is called vector database. So vector database is what? It is just the collection of all the vectors of all the words. So vector database actually stores and searches embedding efficiently. It helps in finding the most similar items like Google search, but using meaning, not just keyword, right? So what vector database does? So vector database, you can say, is a database, okay, in which we have the vector form of all the words, so that whenever you search for a particular word, like I want to search for a particular word, travel, right? So travel is having some word vector, okay? So using this word vector, your information will be searched from this vector database, because vector database is also having all the word vector. And then the model identify, the trained model identify the relevant information from here and give it back to you. All right. This is what vector database actually. There are popular vector databases that are there, like you can say FAS, thereafter Pinecone, then Vivid, ChromaDB, Milvus. So these are popular vector database that many people are using to create their own model. All right. Thereafter, the concept is RAG, retrieval augmented generation. It is what? Retrieval. Retrieving something. Okay, retrieving something from the vector database. Okay, so retrieval of relevant document from the vector database with generation using LLM. So first, LLM model just kind of go to the vector database, retrieve the information, and that is called what? RAG technology. Okay, so LLM sometimes has a limited memory and may not know your private data. So with the help of RAG, it can access the data from your own database. Like I told you about the function calling. So function calling will what? Will connect with your database. Function calling will make a connection with your other application. Function calling can connect with the database. Function calling can connect with a web search. Function calling can connect with some other application like weather application. Right now, through RAG technology, okay, it will retrieve the information from their application. Okay, through RAG technology, the information will be what? Information will get retrieved. Okay, who will retrieve? LLM will retrieve. Okay, like suppose you're asking what are AI Council certificates, right? So there is an embedding model that turns your questions into vector. Then vector database finds the most relevant stored in the text chunks, and then those text chunks are given to the LLM. So the process in between will be done by function calling, and the RAG technology will help us in retrieving the information. All right. Next thing that we need to understand, or same thing over here, just summarizing. Embedding model turns the text into vectors. Vector database stores and finds similar vectors fast, and RAG boosts LLM by adding external facts from your data. All right. Now, one thing that is API. API is something through which two different software communicates. application programming interface. If there is two software that needs to communicate, what they will use? They will use API. Like I have to communicate with what I'll use email, I'll use phone. Same way, there are two softwares. Okay, there is software that you created, that is Agentic AI agents. Suppose AI agents you created that needs the information from a weather application. So weather application is other software, right? So it will use the API of the weather application to connect with that. So with the API, it can perform the function calling. Okay, with the API, okay, your AI agents will use API of a particular software, okay, to connect, right, and perform function calling. Okay, because connect, after connecting, function calling and perform function calling. Okay, and once the function calling is done, thereafter through RAG the information will be retrieved. Okay, retrieval through RAG that I just told you, right? This will just retrieve the information from the database, and once the information is retrieved, again it will given back to your AI agents, and then your AI agent will give you the output. There is a simple example used here. Suppose you can just consider API like this. Suppose you just kind of the user pick what you want, okay, like get the weather, or suppose the waiter API. There is a waiter API that takes your order and go to the kitchen, right? The kitchen sends you the result, right? You need not to know how kitchen works, right? So that is what called API part. It just do the job for you. Without putting it into the software coding and everything, right? Just call the API, and with the help of API, whatever the software you are calling. So API will be given to the given by the software. Like there is a weather application, so there is a API for weather application. There is a web search application, there is a API for web search application. Okay, like for example, how do you search Google? You open google.com and search from there. Now you want your AI agent to search the Google. So AI agent will not open up google.com and search for it. Okay, what AI agent will do? AI agent will go for will just call the API of Google. Okay, once it will have the API of Google, through that API of Google, it will just call it will perform the function calling to go to the Google, right? And then it will search for it, whatever the information it requires, right? So that's how API actually works. So these all things combines together, function calling for AI agents using API. So function calling allows AI model to call an external API or tools when needed, just like a human using the app. Now it is very important because LLM are great at understanding the and generating the text, but they don't know the real time or private info. So through function calling, it can through function calling an API, it can call the information and can give it back to you. Same example over here. Like suppose you ask a agent what is your weather in Delhi. So this is how it will first understand your request. It calls the function. The function calls the API, right? And then API will return the output, and then LLM will respond you naturally. Okay. So this is the thing that we had discussed, like different terms and technology that works in the backend of AI agent. Next, we are going to create a real-time AI agent. We'll see how AI agents can be created. But before we jump into creating the AI agent, let me show you some of the agents that actually works, right? So what I do, I will just share with you some of the agents. Just a minute. There's some of the tools actually that are used to develop the AI agents. All right. So there are so many tools are there. Okay, like we have a LangFlow. Okay, that is used to create the AI agent. We have a vector shift that is also something that is used to create AI agent. We have a voice flow that is used for creating the AI agent. Flowise, that's what we are going to use to create AI agent. LangChain, LangGraph, right? Thereafter we have a LangSmith that is also used to create AI agent. Thereafter we have a Stack AI, CrewAI. Thereafter we have a Agency Swarm. Thereafter AutoGen by Microsoft. Then after Flowise, so we are going to use Flowise to create our AI agent. All right. So let's start with creating the AI agent through Flowise. All right. All right. So how can we create our AI agent? So first you need to go to this website, right? this GitHub repository, github.com Flowise AI/Flowise, right? So when you go to this thing, you get a clear instruction that what you need to do. Okay, so you just scroll down over here. Okay, and first you need to install the Node.js. Okay, so please do install older version of Node.js, not the recent version, because Flowise is more stable up to Node.js version 20. Okay, if you're installing 21 or 22 or 23, you may not get that much stability, right? So better you should use older version. It is also mentioned 18.15.0. Okay, so how to install it? Very simple. You need to go to this particular web page. Okay, you'll click here. Here you can use these command line tool, or first you need to search for a older version. Let's say 20.19.2. Okay, so you can use these command line into your command prompt, or you can do what? You can just click here and can download the MSI version of Windows and can install it. Okay, so it will take some time to get installed. All right. Once the Node.js is installed, the next step, what you need to do? You need to go to your command prompt, okay, or you need to just search over here. In this case, just a minute. You need to search here what? You need to search here Node.js command prompt. Okay. Once it is installed, you need to search for Node.js command prompt. All right. So once you get the Node.js command prompt, next what you need to do? Here you can just type and check node-v. Okay. So you'll get the version over here. All right. That this version is installed. Next, what you need to do, you need to install the next thing that is given over here, that is npm install g Flowise. Okay, so this is what you have to copy and you have to paste it over here. Okay, this is what you have to do, right? So once you install it, once this guy will get installed, right? Next, what you need to do, you need to just copy the next thing, which is called npx Flowise start, right? So this will install locally into your system, right? What it will do, it will install locally into your system, so you can easily access it through the local host, right? So now I'll again get back over here, and here once it is installed, right, then you have to do what? You have to give the command over here npx Flowise start. Okay, so once you give this command, it will take some time to give you the interface of Flowise over here, right, with the localhost IP address, right? So let's wait for a few seconds. All right. So once you execute this thing, okay, your Flowise will start running at port 3000. So what you need to do, you just need to go to your web app, that means your web browser once again, right? And there you have to type the localhost colon 3000. I'll show you. Right? If you go to your web page or web browser, and there if you type this thing, what will you get? You'll get this thing. So this is an interface that is running in your localhost system. That means everything is installed locally into your system, okay, that you are going to use, right? So all the files will be saved locally into your system, right? So once a Flowise is running, you need to go to agent flow to create your agent, right? So now once you click on agent flow and version 1 is selected, because version 2 is very new and maybe slightly unstable as of now, so better to use a more stable version. So version 1 will be selected, and then we are going to create our first agent. This will be the very basic agent which is going to write a story for kids. Okay, so the architecture that we will have, what we will have, one CEO. Okay, this CEO you can consider as a supervisor. Okay, this supervisor or CEO is having two workers, that is a worker 1 and then we have a worker 2. Okay, worker 1 is what? Is a story writer, okay, which is good story writer, and worker 2 is what? Is a title generator. Okay, this will generate the title for the story already this guy had written. Now, how this process will be done? This process requires the LLM. So CEO will be connected with the LLM. Okay, that can be your ChatGPT. Okay, or LLaMA or anything. So CEO will do what? We'll power up these guys. That means we'll give the power to these guys to generate something, okay, based on the query by a user, whatever the user had, if user had a query. So based on the query, these guys will generate something, okay, and CEO will take the help of LLM, and then the information will be given to this guy so that these guys can work. All right, this is a process that will follow. So now after this agent will be created, if suppose I'll ask this agent lion, so this agent can start this with, this is a very goal is very much defined for these agent. What is your goal? Write a story, right? So if I give it a topic lion, it will start writing a story about the lion, right? So let's see how these agents can be created. So to create these agents, first of all, what we do, we will first go to this place, that is a plus icon, and here we will just search for something. You can see so many options we have, right? And these all things will be used in creating the agents. We'll explore all of these things slowly, right? So first we'll add a supervisor, okay, and then we will add the worker to these agents, right? That means to create an agent we need a worker, right? So this is one worker, and let's say I'll add one more worker, right? Two workers, one, to do different things we add different workers. It's not like we just give all the job to a single worker, okay, so that everything, all the workers are defined, are goal oriented, that what they need to do, okay. So like suppose there is a single person and you had given so many work to that guy will get confused and so many errors may happen, that guy may not perform the job well, right? But if you divide the job to the different people, everyone will do its job, everyone is goal oriented, right? So things will be better. So here we have a second worker like this. Okay, so we have two workers and one supervisor. Now the supervisor will be connected to these workers like this. Here supervisor are connected, right? So we'll connect this guy over. Connected. Now what I said, these workers should be given a name. Let's say this worker had been given a name like a storyteller. Okay, and this worker had been given a name, let's say title generator. All right. Now these workers should be given a power of LLM. So how will I give the power of LLM? Very simple. I'll search over here chat, or you can say ChatGPT OpenAI, or OpenAI some ChatGPT chat OpenAI. Okay, so this is what I'll take it from here and I'll put it over here, right? So this guy is what LLM model, which will be connected to whom? It will be connected to your tools calling chat model like this. Okay, now will it work? No, I need to connect this thing to the OpenAI. So how can I connect? Through API. Function calling can be done through what? API. So here I have to define the API. Now from where I can get the API? To get the API, we need to go to openai.com, right? So when we go to openai.com, here we have to log in, and then we have an API platform. So I'll click over here API platform, and then we'll go to the API platform. Now at the API platform, you need to take care few things. You can just go to dashboard and you can generate the API from here, right? You can just generate API from here. But this API will work, right, only if you have a credit left. So how to check the credit? Go to settings, go to billings over here, okay, and then in the billings here is just some credit you can see, right? If either there should be some credit or there should be a kind of a trial version, right? So if you're creating a very new account, you'll get a trial version. But here the credit is added. You have to add some credit card or some payment plan so that if your credit is there, then only it will work, right? So if it is working, if we have some credit, you can use it. Otherwise, you can take the trial plan. Now here, if you say the different, if I click on API, I can get the API over here, right? So now if I will create a new API, okay, here I'll create a new, like suppose I'm creating a new API, new API, right? Create a new, right? So this API should be kept secure, right? And then I have to copy it and I have to use it over there, right? So this is what I have to do. But I had created this API, but obviously after this session I'll delete it because I can't keep this API available every time, because it needs to be kept secured. Otherwise, other people can use my API, right? I have created my API, right? And then I will create new over here. Okay, and here I can add that API. Here I can add some name, okay, like new API, something like that. And here I can put the API that I have created, something like that, whatever the API. But here I'll do what I already have the API added. So I'll just take the API that is already defined. Okay, so I'll take the API from here. Okay, the API name was what? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so just use the API right here so that it can access the ChatGPT from there, right? Thereafter, everything is connected. Okay, I just need to tell this guy what this guy needs to do, right? So I'll click here, okay, and write a prompt for this guy, that what this guy is supposed to do, right? So let's say I'll ask this guy, let's say I'm telling it like you are say you are a humorous storyteller and write a funny story, okay, about a topic given to you for the kids of age, let's say 8 to 12. Okay, I want to write it for the kids, right? Years. Okay. Then after, your story are funny and 500 words long. All right. Thereafter, we'll say what? When you are done. Okay, that means when your job is done, give your output to title generator. Then only title generator can, can generate the titles. Okay, because if it will not give the information to the title generator, then how title generator will generate the title, right? So we have to give the information to the title generator. I'll save it. Now I will open up this guy, that is title generator. Now in the title generator, I'll write the prompt to generate the title about the story. So I'll say what? You are a title creator, and then you make 10 titles that are perfect for the story given by storyteller. All right, that are given by what? Storyteller. Fair enough? Okay, so here a spelling mistake I did, but that's fine. Spelling is not so much important. Grammatical and spelling mistake, you can do it, right? So storyteller, right? So now it is done. And then we'll add the additional parameter to the supervisor. The first job will be assigned to what? Storyteller, and second job will be assigned to the title generator, isn't it? So that is what we need to do, right? So here I'll tell this guy over here, you need to start with, you need to first start with a storyteller. Storyteller, and then move to title generator at the end. Okay, so this is the instruction that has been given to this guy, right? So that this guy can work properly. Okay, so this much thing are already mentioned. Okay, select strategically something, right, to minimize this. This is already mentioned. Okay, only this much I added. Okay, you need to first start with this thing and then title generator. That's it. Now we'll save this guy before we can use it, right? So let's say kids story teller. Okay, I had given it, right? Now I'll do what? I'll just go over here, okay, and see how this particular agent is behaving. Our first very simple agent, right? So let's say I'll ask it lion. Okay, so if I ask it a lion, let's say what this guy is doing, right? So I'm expecting supervisor to start working. Okay, so again, supervisor has started working, and what is the state over here? It just called storyteller. So a storyteller is doing what? Is doing its job. Okay, it is an agent which is generating a title for me, right? So let's see the story. What a story it had given to me. Okay, so this is a story that it had given to me, right? And once the story is done, thereafter next thing is what? Over here is a title generator. Okay, that had generated 10 title for me. All right, things are done, right? So you can see how good is it in performing the. You can just ask it something else as well. Okay, let's say one story is done. Okay, now I want other story. So I don't need to write everything. Okay, and now it is very much goal specific. It will not do other job, right? Now I'll ask it for the rain. Now it will start writing a story for the rain, right? So it job, that's what I said initially, right? What AI agent can do. All right. So now it is just going for the rain part. All right. Nice. Okay. And then some titles also we received. Okay. So that's working good. So what we had seen, how can we create a simple agent? What is supervisor? What are workers? How can we select the API for OpenAI? Here we have a multiple models are there that you can select. Just try to use a model which is less expensive. And at then, how can we use it? Stay tuned with us. We'll try to create more, advanced agent that can use the Google search, that can save the file into your system, right? That can send the mail, that can read the mail. So many things we're going to do, right? So just stay tuned with us and keep learning and stay healthy. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a great day. All right. Hi, team. I welcome you back. So in the last video, we had just started with the AI agents. If you see, we just understood how can we install the required files, what is AI agents, what are agentic AI, and how can we use a tool like Flowise to create some basic agent kind of thing, right? Now we will take this discussion one step ahead. In this example, we are going to create an agent, and we are going to create an agent for social media management, right? So it will be a social agent, right? So it would be a combination of 4 different kind of workers, right? So we will have an agent. This will be the combination of 4 workers. That means I want this agent to do 4 different tasks. Fair enough? The first task that this will do is writing a blog post about a particular topic that I want. The second thing I want it to do is writing a video script, okay, on the same blog post. Okay. The third thing I want that it should give me titles, okay, at least 10 titles, right, using which I can make my blog post or video viral. Fair enough? And the fourth thing that I want from this guy is what? Create a social media post. Okay, social media post means what? Like, for example, a post for Twitter or a post for a Facebook kind of thing, okay, or a post for a Instagram kind of thing, right? So these 4 things I want from this agent. All right, so you know what process we have to follow. The very first thing that we need to do, what we need to create a supervisor, And with this supervisor, we will have 4 agents, right? Agent 1, agent 2, or you can say worker. Okay, 4 workers, right? And then we have to give the prompt to each of these workers. Okay, this worker I need to give a prompt to do this particular thing. This worker will be given a prompt for the video scripting. This worker will be given a prompt for title generation. This worker will be given a prompt for social media post. That's good, right? So this is what we are going to explore. Okay, I hope basics already you know. If we have gone through our last video, right, you need to just go to this particular platform, which is github.com/flowise/flowise. Here you have to first install the Node.js. Once the Node.js install, just install the Node.js version 18, 19 or 20. Then you install Flowise. Flowise is a tool through which we create the AI agents. Okay, once the Flowise is installed, you need to do what? You need to open Node.js command prompt. Okay, I'll show you. It is not the command from the conventional command prompt. It is what? It is a Node.js command prompt. Okay, so you'll search and you will open this thing up. When you open this thing up, here you have to give what? npx Flowise start. So it will start a kind of a portal where we can just drag and drop and create our complete agent, right? So let it be started. We'll wait for a few minutes and it will start. All right, so it did its job. Once it did its job, thereafter what will happen? You can just launch your local host system, or you can say local host interface on port 3000. So if I click it, I will get the interface where we can build our complete agent, right? Now we have to go to agent flows, and in the agent flows we can go for add new, right, for creating our agent. So what we do after add new? After going for the add new interface, here we start creating our agents, right? So first thing required is supervisor. So we just call for supervisor over here, right? Once we have the supervisor, next thing that we will add over here, what? The workers. So as I said, we required 4 workers, right? So I'll just take the first worker over here. All right. And thereafter I just click here and duplicate it. Okay, click here, duplicate it. Okay, click here, duplicate it. So I have 4 workers, 1 supervisor, and there is 1 LLM model required. So we can take over here OpenAI LLM model, OpenAI, Chat OpenAI. All right. So we have a Chat OpenAI LLM model, right? Now I'll just connect all of them. Okay. So supervisor will be connected to whom? Okay, let's say supervisor. Here I am connecting supervisor. Here again, this guy will be also connected to the supervisor, right? So I'll just take it and will connect it over here, isn't it? Then I take this thing and I'll connect it over here. Okay, then I'll take this thing, all right, and I'll connect it over here. All right, so all the 4 supervisors are connected to the workers. All right, and then the supervisor needs LLM support, right? So this supervisor will be connected to this LLM thing, right? So supervisor will power up all the workers to do their job with the help of OpenAI LLM. Fair enough? Then we will connect over here our key. Now I already told you how to have the key. To have the key, what we do? We go to OpenAI portal. So let's move to OpenAI portal. So this is your OpenAI portal. Once you go to openai.com, here you can go to API platform. Okay. So it will ask you if you are already logged in, it will take you to this particular interface, where if you go to dashboard, right, you get the option of API keys, right? So if you have the API keys, you can use it. That means already I'm using new key agent, right? So this thing already I have added over here. If you see new key agent, I have already added. It is just getting okay. I have already added here. In case if you have not added, what you can do, you can create a new key, right? You can just create a new key over here, right? And after creating a new key, you can just copy, and after copy, you can add it over here, right? Here we have option of adding a new key. getting stuck. Okay, create new, right? So in case if you're doing for the first time, just generate a key from there, add it. But this will only work if your account is having a credits, right? So how can you check that your account is having credit? Very simple. Go to settings, and in the setting options you can go to billings, right? So in the billings here, the credit balance should be there. If it is 0, it will not work. Either there should be a credit balance, or it should be what? A kind of a trial account. Then only it will work. If it is not there, you have to add the credit. Now I'll go back over here. Now, my initial things are already created. I have connected my key also over here. This is built to work. But the next thing that we want over here is what? The prompts. Okay, I have to give the prompt to this guy, to this guy. This is what? Blog writer. This is a script writer. This is a title generator, and this is a kind of a social media post generator. I have to write a kind of some prompt for these guys, right? But writing a prompt is time-taking process. So what we do, we'll not write the prompt. We are very lazy person. We'll find out some other ways, right? So how can we have the other ways? We'll go back. We'll just save this thing first. Let's say I'll save it. I'll save it as my social agent. All right, I saved it. Correct. Once I saved it, I will go back and I will go to something called marketplace. Okay, so marketplace is a space where you will get so many pre-built agents. That means agents are already there. We have to just use them, right? So one of the very famous agent over here is prompt engineering. Okay, so what is prompt engineering? This guy can write a prompt for you. Okay, it is a pre-built. I didn't make it, right? So I'll click here and you get the option of use template over here. Correct. So this is a guy who is using OpenAI, LLM, having a supervisor. Thereafter, we have one worker. The first worker is created to create a prompt. Okay, you are a prompt engineer. Your job is to craft system prompt. Here is an example. User task you to craft 2 AI agent prompt matches this one. So it's like it will create a prompt. Okay, and the second guy is there who will just review the prompt and make the prompt better, right? So we'll make use of this guy, right? So what I do, I'll just click on use template over here. All right, let's say I'll use template and I'll give it a name. Some name I'll give it. Let's say I'll save it as what I should give. It's like my prompt engineer. Okay, so this is my prompt engineer. Looking good, right? Now I have to do nothing over here. Just I have to connect my key. So this is my key that I'll connect. That's it, and I'll save it. Okay. So once I connect my key, this is ready to be used. Nothing to do anything. Okay. So now I'll click here and I'll ask this guy some questions. Okay. I'll give it a job. What job? First of all, I'll tell this guy I want 4 agents. Obviously, I have 4 agents, right? Isn't it? The first agent, okay, should write a blog post on a topic. Okay, so first agent will just write a blog post on a topic. We can say targeting spelling is not a big problem. You can use incorrect or because it's a LLM. If you give incorrect or kind of incorrect grammar also, then also it just figure out the information from the vector database. So it can easily work. So a spelling thing is not a big deal over here. Targeting kind of learners or targeting, let's say human of age. Let's say I'm just giving some sort of age kind of thing, like okay, in this age this age of people should be should get attracted about my blog or article. Let's say age 20 to 45. Okay, who are interested in learning new technologies. All right. This is the first thing. The first agent will do. Second agent will do what? The second agent should write a script for a video based on this blog post. This is your job role of second agent, right? The third agent should do what? Title generator, right? So the third agent should generate 7 attractive titles with high CTA for YouTube. All right. Okay. Thereafter, the fourth agent will do what? Will write a Twitter post, right? So the fourth agent should write or should generate. You can write or generate anything. So generate 5 posts for X, which is formerly Twitter. Okay, to drive more traffic to my blog and video. Nice. So when I will give this thing to this particular, prompt engineer, it will write a prompt for me for all the 4 agents. Okay, let's check. Okay, so it started its work. Okay, you can say first prompt creator is doing its job. It is just creating a prompt for me. All right. Okay, now it's prompt reviewer who is doing its job. Okay, and prompt reviewer had created or reviewed the prompt for me for a better way, right? So we have the prompts for all the 4 agents, right? First, it is text blog writer. Second, video script writer. Third, YouTube title generator, and fourth, social media strategist, right? So let's try to have these things copied from here. Okay, and then we will use it, isn't it? So just a minute. Let's copy. Okay, I just copied this guy, right? And then I will paste it somewhere in the notepad. Alright. So we paste this thing, that is all the prompts over here that we want to use. Alright. Now we will get back to our Flowise, right? I'll get back to our agent. Okay. Here is our agent. The agent name was what? My social agent, right? So I just open this thing up, right? And I will start giving the prompt to this guy. Alright. So what is my first prompt? The first agent is text blog writer. Alright. I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay. The second agent is what? Video script writer. Okay. I'll copy it and I'll paste it over here. Alright. The third one is what? YouTube title generator. Or we can just have a. Okay, so I'll paste it over here. Alright. And the fourth agent is what? Social media strategist. Nice. I'll copy it and I'll paste it over here. So we get the name of all the 4 agents. Now what they need to do. Okay. So whatever they need to do has been given over here. Okay. Here is a system prompt. you are a creative and insightful writer, technology based focused blog and all, right? So if you have time, you can read it. I am going to just copy this thing and paste it over here, right? Looking good. Now once we did it, I'll save this thing. Now I'll take the second guy, video script writer, copy this and paste it over here. Okay. Now we have a third guy, right? So let's take the third guy from here. That is YouTube title generator. All right. Copy this thing and paste it over here. Okay. So the third agent also get the prompt. Now the last agent prompt. Okay, I can take it and paste it over there, right? Just wait, let me just check once. Yeah, engagement focus, everything is there. 2 times it been copied, I guess. Anyway, so I'll just take this thing from here and paste it over here. All right, so everyone gets the job role that they need to do, right? Last, what we do, we will just add over here few things. Supervisor name. Okay. In the supervisor, when finish, respond to finish. Now I'll tell this guy from where to start so that everything should be sequential, right? So I'll say this thing: you are going to start first with whom? Start first with, okay, what is the name of the first agent? The first agent name is tech blog writer. Okay, I'll say that you should start from here. All right, right, and then move on to what? The script writer. Okay, next, give this information to whom? To next guy whose name is, what is the name of the next guy? YouTube title generator, right? Okay, and at the end, go to the last person. Who is the last person over here? Yeah, person, right? Will agent is a virtual person for us, right? Social media studies. Now job is done. Okay. Now I'll just say that, okay, now you are ready to do the job. We have a LLM model supervisor worker and everything is ready. Next we do what? We'll say over here, we'll just save this thing first. All right. Next we'll say, let's start your work. So I'll open it up. On what topic you want, on what technical topic you want a blog and video and everything. Let's try to give our topic, technical topic based on which we want everything, right? Some blog or video or social media post. So what we do, let's say I'll give it a thing name artificial intelligence. All right. So this is a tech blog writer. Let's wait for a few minutes. Okay. So it had given me some kind of a blog over here, the future of artificial intelligence in everyday life, right? Once it did its job, thereafter the next thing. Let's see. First, we have a we'll just try to explore this thing. Okay, let it be complete. It's still doing its job, right? So at the end, the last we have social media strategist. Okay, YouTube title generator. Okay, and this is your social media strategist which had created a post for Twitter, right? This is a YouTube title generator which had given us a title. If you see the state over here, right? And then this is our video script, okay, that we have over here. Create a video script, all right. And then also we have over here the blogs, okay. If you see, this is a blog, okay. So this guy did all the job, right? Now let's say I'll give one more topic to this guy, okay. Let's say I'm giving it a topic over here, IoT, that is Internet of Things, okay. So as of now, it is just giving you the blog or kind of article or anything based upon the LLM model that is already pre-trained. Very soon we'll try to make it more better by implementing the web search. Okay, we'll let this agent to do the web search directly, and after searching the web, it will give us the best possible or the based on the recent update in all of these fields. Okay, that also we're going to do very soon, right? So it did its blog writing. Okay, once the blog writing is done, it is doing what? This is your video script, isn't it? This is what our video script. Okay, if you see over here, okay. So this is your last. We have a social media post. Okay, just we have to scroll up. Then after you have a YouTube title. Okay, 7 title, and this is your video script, right? This is a video script, right? That's working good. Next, if we want to save this thing somewhere, okay, in our file somewhere, I want to save it, everything. Like suppose I want to save this thing as a docs file, right? All these things, okay. Like from here, I want to save at the end, right? So what do we do? We'll use over here something called write file, okay, write. Okay, just search for write. Let's say write file, right? And write file, I'll put it over here. Okay. Now the point is what we want to save. Okay. See, if I want to save the social media strategy, so I'll just put it over here and I'll try to connect this thing. Okay. So how can I connect? Very simple. This is the additional tool we are going to connect, which is called function calling. We are calling some other function to do a secondary job. Okay. So this will be connected over here. Okay. So this will just save everything that is being created. Next, I also want to save other things, right? Like for example, I want to save this blog also, right? And then I also want to save over here the next thing, that is your YouTube script, and this is what your title, right? So I'll connect all of these over here. So this will save everything into my system, right? Right? Now I'll modify this prompt. Okay. So I'll say this guy, save the outcome generated as what? Blog, or you can say blog.txt using write file tool. Okay, using the write file tool, I want to save it. All good. Second thing that I want this guy to save everything. Okay, so save the outcome generated as video script .txt using write file tool. Connected. Okay. All right. And then I'll just copy this thing because I have to add to others as well. So let's say I'll call it what? Save as title .txt. Okay. And here I'll say what? Save as Twitter.txt. Alright, this will also be saved. Okay, now everything is done. I'll save this guy, but before saving it, I have to give it a location where it should be saved. Okay, so let me pick up a location from my system. Okay, from my desktop, I'll just pick up a location and I'll try to save it over there. Alright, just allow me for a minute. I'll copy the location. Right, so let's say I'll copy a particular location from here. I'll show you the output as well. So here I'll paste it. Okay. So which location did I copy? Okay. So let me show you the location that I copied. A minute. Yeah, so I copied this location from here. Okay, this is a desktop. At a desktop, I created a folder Flowise agent, and I am going to store the output over this particular location, right? So let's try to use it. Now I'll save this thing. Okay, and thereafter, one more thing I'll modify over here using write file tool. Had I added using write file tool connected. Alright, now I'll save it. Okay, I'll open it up. Okay, on what particular thing that you want the output? Okay. Quantum computing. Okay. So now I started writing a blog, quantum computing. Thereafter, your video script writer. Okay, so it wrote it and the file has been saved. Okay, here it is not showing any output. It's fine. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it just skip it. It's fine. But the file has been saved as it is saying. Okay, you can say write file has been done. Okay. So now I'll get back to the space where it is saving our file, right? So let's check. So it has saved the file over here, titles.txt. Okay, these are the titles. If you check, right? Thereafter, I have over here the next thing, Twitter post. Okay, working good. Right, thereafter video script is also there. One thing it could not complete, okay, which is the blog one. Okay, so why it has not completed the blog? Let's try to check. Okay, I'll again modify this thing. Right, I'll do what? Save the outcome as. Okay, I'll again just update over here. Save the outcome as. Okay, sometimes you may have to change it. Blog. Actually, you have to just tune these things. Sometimes things not work as you expected. So you have to just tune it. And if sometimes it is not giving the result that you want, just try to save it again. Okay, and just try to restart the process once again. Okay, so here I am again going to restart it. Right, and just clear. So let's say everything is set. So we will start it and we'll clear the old chat and I'll give it some sort of tech topic. Okay, let's say I want to create a blog about a topic like self-driven car. Okay, self-driven cars, right? So what we are expecting it to create a blog, give me a video script, write titles and also social media posts, as well as it should save all those things at a particular location that we have already defined. So let's see. We started writing the blogs. So it did its job. First, it wrote the blog. Second, video script. Third, YouTube title generator. And fourth, this thing, that is your social media strategist, had created the 5 engaging posts and saved it as well. So now we'll cross check whether it is being saved or not. So we will get back to the location where our file is expected to be saved, right? So here is a location where it is expected to be saved. So we can see over here 4 files, right? I'll just open up a file. Let's say I'm opening up twitter.txt, right? And I'll show it to you. So this is a twitter.txt in which we have 5 posts about the social media, right? Next, I'll see whether my title file, how is it working. So I'll open up the title file. So you can see these are the titles. Then we have a video script. So this is our video script. All right. Let me show you. All right. So video script is also saved, right? Next, we have a blog. So blog is also saved. If you check here, right? That means things are working good. It is actually doing whatever expected from it, creating as well as saving it into a particular folder as a document. Next, we will explore how can we implement web search, as well as we'll see how can we train this agent with our own data. That data can be a PDF file or markdown file. We'll try to train it and we'll expect it to behave well, or you can say give the response based on our private data. All right. So stay tuned, keep learning. We'll start the next learning journey very soon. Hi team. So we are working on creating different AI agents, and I hope you are successfully creating these. Still, if you find any doubts and difficulty which is not working, please do comment down. In this video, we are going to create a new agent that would be your investment analyst, right? So what this guy will do, we need to give our investment details, right? Whatever the investment that we had made on different kinds of platforms, like suppose stocks, gold, ETF, mutual fund. So we can give it in the form of text, or we can give it in the form of document. So we have to give this thing to our agent, right? And this agent is responsible to calculate like how you distributed your investments. Okay, like how much percentage was there in gold, how much in ETF, how much in different kinds of portfolios, right? And thereafter, this will also be responsible to write a Python script, okay, through which you can generate some visualization about your investment. Okay, like how much percentage was there in the stocks, right? Thereafter gold, thereafter ETF, right? So you can generate this kind of plot using the Python script. So you need not to write Python script, right? It's your agent will write. Okay. Third thing, this agent will do what? It will create a report based upon your investment portfolio, and this report we can save it in our local system. That means we need to just give the details, okay, and this agent can do rest of the work. All right, so let's go ahead. So we know we are using Flowise tool to build our agent, right? I already told you how to use it, how to install it, right? You can just install your Node.js first. Then after installing Node.js, you can install Flowise, and then in the Node.js command prompt, you have to give what? npx start Flowise. When you give the npx start Flowise in your Node.js command prompt like this, right? Your Flowise tool starts locally, okay? And you can start building up your agents. right? So already my Flowise tool is running. I'll go to my Flowise tool and I'll start creating my agent, right? So first I will go here. I'll click on agent flow is selected. Then I'll click on add new, right? And then I'll just create the agents, right? So first I need supervisor. So let's pick up the supervisor here. Nice. So supervisor is there. Next I need what? The worker. Let's have a worker here. Okay. So the first agent is to calculate. As it needs to calculate something, so it also requires calculator, right? So we'll also call over here calculator. Okay, I'll just attach this thing over here. Okay, so this will be using calculator. The next worker needs to do what? Needs to write the Python script. So Python script we can write through code interpreter. You can see code interpreter by E2B, right? So we can just pick and put it over here, right? So this guy can write the code for us. All right. So just putting all the ingredients, then we'll start connecting them, right? Okay. The third agent is responsible for what? For saving the report locally. So we required what? Write files. We had already used it for n number of times. So this is what we have, a write file, isn't it? So we have all the things added over here. Now what is missing? OpenAI ChatGPT, right? So I'll just call over here OpenAI LLM model. That will give power to all of these things, right? Done. So all the ingredients are arranged over here. We just need to connect. So how do we connect? Let's see. Supervisor will be connected over here to all the three workers over here, then over here, and then at the end. The supervisor is connected. Looks good. Next, we need what? We need to power up supervisor through ChatGPT. Right. Then we just need to select our key over here as a cadential, and you can select for a faster processing. You can select 4.0 latest, or you can also use 4.0 mini. That depends. Like if 4.0 mini is working good, it's fine. If 4.0 mini is not as per your expectation, you can switch to 4.0 latest. Only 4.0 latest will be a little bit expensive compared to 4.0 mini. Next, what we need? This guy will be connected to calculator because it will be responsible to calculate. All right. Okay. Now here this Python, this code interpreter. This code interpreter is a guy which will be responsible to write the Python script. Right. So this will be connected here. Last, we have a file writer that will save our file locally. All things are connected over here, right? Everything is connected. Now we can start working on it. So before we start working on it, what we need here? We need here the name of these workers as well as prompt, right? So shall we write the prompt here? No. What we do, we'll save this thing. Okay, let's say investment analyzer. Okay. I'll save this guy. And we will go back to whom? To our prompt engineer team. Okay. We'll open a prompt engineer team and then we will ask this team to write a prompt for us. All right. Already I have the prompt written for this prompt engineer team that I'll show you. Okay. Here actually we required 3 agents, right? The first agent will do what? We'll use the calculator to calculate the exact percentage of your investment, right? And second agent will do what? Will write a Python script. All right. And third agent will do what? Will save the report locally. But to visualize my investment as a pie chart and this one, right? This is what we need. So let's give this thing to our prompt engineer team and let's see what prompt engineer is doing. We'll wait for a few seconds. Meanwhile, prompt engineer will write the prompt first and then it will review the prompt. And once it's being reviewed, we will get the prompt that we need to use for each worker. All right. So here prompt is generated. It is now reviewing it. Now we have a prompt generated and it is being reviewed as well, right? I guess. All right. So now I'll do what? I'll just copy these prompts from here and paste it somewhere in my notepad so that later on I can use it. Okay. So this one I copied. Okay. And I'll paste it somewhere in the notepad. Okay. And I'll use it, right? Okay. I'll show you. See, here I pasted. All right. Fine. Agent 1, agent 2, agent 3, right? Now let's go ahead to our actual agent, right? So I'll go back. What was the agent name? It was investment analyzer, right? This was the agent, right? Now what do? We'll just try to give the prompt to each of the worker one by one. All right. So for the first worker here, okay. So once we copied and pasted all the prompts, we'll get back to our investment analyzer, right? And in the investment analyzer, we will start giving the prompt to each of these workers, right? So for that, let's see. I will have the first worker over here whose name was, let me just pick it from here, investment calculator. Fair enough. So I'll put it. The second worker name was what? Investment visualizer. Okay. So I'll copy and paste it over here. And the third worker name was what? Financial summary writer. Okay. Like this. All good. Now I'll copy the prompt associated with them. So for the first worker, the prompt is as a, okay, fine. I'll just show you. I'll just copy it from here first. I copied and then I'll paste it here. Okay. As a financial analyst in the investment team, your primary responsibility is to provide precise calculation that something, right? So that means it will just calculate the things. All right. The next guy will do what? Will just do the visualization. For the visualization purpose, write a Python script. Okay. So let's go to the next guy and ask it to write the Python script, right? Once this agent completed the Python script, the next agent will do what? Will write the summary of my investment and it will just save it locally. All right. So let's see. All right. So everything is done. Okay. Now what is left over here? I have to give the location where I want to save, right? So let's give a location. I have a location in my desktop, or let's say I'll just take it from the desktop, a particular location, and we'll try to give it, right? So just wait a minute. Let me copy that location. Okay, I'll copy it from the desktop and I will do what? I will give it over here. Job is done. So here I want to save it. Okay. Now what left? Let's come back to our code interpreter. In the code interpreter, here we required credential. So how can you give the credentials? Then only this code interpreter will write the code. Nothing to worry. You can go to this E2B website. Okay. E2B code interpreter like this. E2B.dev. Okay. And from here you can pick up the API key. Very simple. When you go to this website, create your account, right? And after creating your account, just go to this API keys and here you can create a new API key. Okay. Once you have an API key, you can get back over here, right? And create new and add your API key. And then it will start working. Fair enough? Good. Now, in case if you also want to save your Python script somewhere, that also you can do. Okay. If you want to save your Python script somewhere, it's very simple to do. What you can do over here, let me just take this thing over, I'm just creating more space. Okay, here I'll create a copy of it. All right. Okay, and I'll connect this tool to the write file as well. Okay, what is the purpose? The purpose is very simple. I want to create a Python script and I want to save that Python script locally in my system, right? So now I'll tell this guy that please save the Python script that you created. All right, it is little here and there, right? So let's say I'll go back to the prompt. Okay, and here I'll write what? Save the Python script created as .py file using write file tool. Okay, save the Python script created as .py file using write file tool. So most probably it will save my Python file. So let's check what it is doing. So all things are done. Just give some additional parameter to supervisor. Okay, what we'll give it? We'll ask it to start from where? We'll ask it to start from investment calculator, right? So I'll say start working with investment calculator, then move to investment visualizer. Okay, and at the end go to what? Financial summary writer. That is my last worker, right? Financial summary writer. Okay, so that it can have the information like how it needs to work. So in my knowledge, everything is done. Okay, we just need to give certain information to this guy, like what are our investment, okay, in different kinds of domains, right? So let's save this thing and let's see how can we use it. All right, so for the same, let's try to click over here, open up your chat window, and then give the prompt through which it can make the calculations, right? Let's say I'll give it a information. I have, let's say, 100,000 rupees, right? And I made my investment like this. Okay, so let's say mutual funds, let's say 15,000. Okay, gold, let's say 20,000. Okay, ETF, let's say over here 20,000. Okay, so now how much left? Still like 55,000 left, right? So stocks. So in the stocks, let's say I'll give some of the stocks name. Entry, let's say 10,000. ITC, let's say 5,000. Okay, and thereafter with let's say somewhere like Wipro, let's say 5,000 or 7,000. Okay, and let's say next what I can do, any other investment. Okay, let's say and crypto. Okay, the rest I have as gas. Okay, so this is information I had given. Let's see how is it functioning. All right, so once I give, now these kind of information you can also give through PDF, through some document, right? That we'll see next, like how can we, that is a RAG application. Okay, retrieval, adversarial generation, like how can we just give our private data, and based on private data, how my model will function, okay, or how an agent will function. That also will explore. So it has the first thing that worked is what? Investment calculator. An investment calculator calculated and given this information to us. All right. And after the investment calculator, we have a code interpreter. So code interpreter had given me the Python code over here, and it is also saved. That will obviously check. Okay. And third, it's financial summary writer that is writing some summary, right? So let it be completed. Okay. So now we have these two things saved. One is your text file, other is your Python file. All right. And let's go back to the space where it is being saved, right? So I'll open up the folder which folder I had given for saving the information, isn't it? So see over here, just a minute, I'll show you. Okay, so if you see, this is a text file, right? If I open up this text file, I have a summary over here. Okay, total financial status and portfolio summary, total investment 10,000, 100,000 asset allocation, mutual fund, gold, ETF, stock, crypto, cash, right? So your portfolio is well diversified with significant allocations in gold, ETF, and mutual fund. Stocks represents a smaller portion, but they include prominent companies. The presence of cash allows for flexibility in future investment and market opportunity. That's fine. Next, we have a Python file through which we can create the some sort of visuals. So this is a Python file. Okay, so let's try to use it and see how it actually works. I'll show you the script over here. Okay, the script of Python file. Right now, to execute this script, what I do, I'll get back to my browser, and also you can execute your Python script in Jupyter or anywhere else. Okay, I'll execute in Replit. Okay, so I'll open up replit.com. Okay, here if you see in the replit.com, here we want to create a new app. Okay, so when I click on create a new app, it is asking for which language. Let's say for Python, right? And here I'll give it a name like investment summary. I'll create an app over here, and then I'll copy the script that I am having. All right, and I'll paste it over here. Okay, right. And once I paste it, I'll run it. Okay, as I run it, it is just executing it, just accessing few of the files, and let's say it will generate, if everything is correct, it will generate output for me. That's looking good. Okay, so we have the agent which is doing all the things. Later on I can save this file, right? That means if I'm not that good in Python scripting, we have an agent which is doing the job for us. Okay, this guy is doing what? Doing the calculations, writing the Python script, saving the Python file, saving the summary of our investment, right? So everything this agent is perfectly doing. All right, so just work on it, comment down, let me know if anything which is not working for you. And next we will try to work with the RAG application. Okay, that means we'll try to connect some of our private data, and we'll see how can we create an agent working very efficiently on the private data. And I have also a plan to create to help you create some chatbot that you can integrate in any website. Okay, so some sort of like, generally when there are so many websites are there in which when you visit, there used to be a chatbot over here. Okay, and when you click it, this chatbot is, generally gives the answer very efficiently. Okay, based on the company's data. So that kind of application also will try to build very soon and deploy, right? So stay tuned, keep learning, and all right. Hi, everyone. So we are into the next step of our agent building. And now we will focus on creating a RAG based application. Now, or RAG-based agent. Now, what is RAG-based agent? It means what? Retrieval augmented generation. What does it mean? See, as of now, whatever the agent that we built, right, that those agents were using the information that is already there in OpenAI LLM, right? There is your OpenAI LLM. Okay, so this guy is having some sort of information. This is already pre-trained model, right? Pre-trained, you can say LLM model, okay, using transformer architecture, right? So this guy is having some information. Based on the information this guy is having, because this is trained on huge chunk of text data, right? So to train that, there are a lot of kind of internet data, books, articles, or you can say Wikipedia data had been used. So based on those informations, my agent was performing, right? It was just giving me some result. But now let's say I have some my own private data, right? Like I have my own PDF, okay, and in that PDF I have a information about my own organization, isn't it? Now I want my model to learn from this PDF. Okay, I want my agent, right? I want my agent to learn from this PDF, okay, and then just return me or answer me on if I asked about anything which is mentioned in this PDF. Suppose it's a very large scale PDF, right? And suppose I want to create a chatbot as well, right, later on, right? But at the end, what I want that my agent should know about this information so that any question can be answered which is related to this PDF or the whatever the information present in this PDF. That means my agent needs to retrieve what it needs to retrieve. It needs to retrieve the information present over here, right? And when it will retrieve, thereafter it will learn from that, right? And based on the information it will retrieve, it can answer me whatever the question that I'll ask. So that can be built up through RAG based application, which is retriever augmented generation. So this is an AI technique that improves the accuracy and relevance of responses from large language model by integrating them with the external data source. We are going to use our own data source, right? Here RAGs, that terms came out from the old worn out kind of thing, right? So this is what we are going to explore. So how can we start, right? So very first thing, we need to start our tool, this Flowise tool, so that we can build our application, right? So how do we start it? Already I told you to start your Flowise tool in your local host, right? What you need to do, you need to just give the command npx Flowise start. Okay, I already had explained you about the installation and everything. You can view my video, or you can just go through the video that I had shared earlier for node installation, Flowise installation, and how to get started with the Flowise, right? Apart from that, you can also visit this website github.com/Flowise/Flowise, and you can follow the instruction. First install node.js, then kind of install Flowise, and then start it. All right. So once it is started, you can go to localhost colon 3000, right? Like this, and you will get your space where you can create your agents, right? So let's start creating our RAG based agent over here. So for that, first of all, I'll click on agent flows, right? And then I'll go to add over here new supervisor or other things. Okay, let's say I'll click over here, right? And I'll add over here supervisor, right? So this is the first step, and then we will add over here suppose three workers, okay, and we'll decide what those workers will do, right? So worker, right? And what we do, we just copy this thing, okay, duplicate it, and then we also require the LLM model. So I'll take over here OpenAI LLM, okay, OpenAI chat, OpenAI language model, right? So these things we are using, we already had used these things for so many times, so I hope you can easily do it. Next, what we can do, we can connect these guys all together. Let's say this will be connected over supervisor, right? This will be connected over a supervisor, right? And this will be also get connected over a supervisor, right? And this guy will be connected to who? To be connected to LLM model, right? And then here I have to add the credentials. I already told you how can you pick the credentials. You need to go to openai.com, in the OpenAI.com, you need to log in for the purpose of API platforms, right? So when you click on API platforms, you will get the API option over here, okay, in the dashboard section. When you go to dashboard, you will have a API keys, right? So from here, you can generate the API key, okay, and after generating the API key, you can use the API key right here, okay. You can just click on create new, right? And you can add your API key over here. Again, here you can give the name, right? I have already added it, so I need not to work with create new. I'll select it. So I have this API key. Here I can select the model. Whichever model that I want to select, I can select it over here. Let's say 4.0, 4.0 mini, right? So if suppose I want it to better work faster kind of things, so I will use 4.0. Okay, if my application is small, then I will use 4.0 mini. It totally depends like what actually I want to do. All right. Now once it is done, thereafter what we do? Here I have to give the prompts, but right now prompting and other things will generate obviously from our prompt engineering team. Right. Here what we do, we'll add over here retrieval tool. Right. So retrieval tool. Okay, that will just kind of retrieve the information from the PDF that I will use. So I'll just pick the retrieval tool from here. Right. So this retrieval tool is something which is important to retrieve the information from the PDF or any document. Okay, like for example, you are using Markdown document or any document. From that, it will try to pick the information to answer you. Right. Now what I do, I'll just connect this tool over here. Okay, so here I'll connect it. Oh, it is not getting connected. Just a minute. Let me connect this guy. All right, now it is connected. So now I have to give the retriever name. So I can give any name over here. Let's say kind of a so what name shall I give? Retrieve, or you can say doc reader. Okay, let's say I had given it a name doc reader. Correct. Now I'll save it. Okay. So I'll save it with the name over here. Let's say my tag app. Okay, something like this. I'll save this guy. So now this guy is saved over here. Next, what we need to do? I need over here prompts. Okay, for these guys. Okay. So we'll go to, after saving, we'll go to our prompt engineering team that already we have over here. And I will ask this guy to write a prompt for me. Okay. So if I want this guy to write a prompt for me, what we need, we will just open this thing up and then we will clear the chat and we'll ask it to write a prompt for me, right? So I will clear this chat. So let's clear this chat and then add it over here. I want 3 agents, right? Because I have 3 workers. Okay. So I'll add it over here. The first agent, okay, should search through uploaded knowledge, right? Okay. And use a tool. Uploaded knowledge is spelling I had given. Okay. Tool doc reader, because we have connected over there doc reader, the retriever tool over doc reader. Right. So from the doc reader, whatever the information will be picked up, that first worker will use that. The second agent should write a blog post and 5 short tweets from the uploaded knowledge. Okay, this is what will happen. And the third agent should structure and summarize everything well, and in the end use a tool, like suppose use a tool that can be a write tool, right? Like suppose you use your write tool to save my data locally. Okay, that is what we want. That means I have three workers. The first worker will just extract the information, does whatever thing that I'll ask. The second worker should write a blog post and 5 tweets, and third will save it. Right. So I'll ask this guy to write the prompt for me. Right. So let's wait for a few seconds. It will just generate a prompt for me, right? Okay, so we have a prompt over here that is being generated by this guy. You can see here, finish. That means prompt is generated for all the three agents. Okay, first the prompt is generated. If you sorry, the first prompt created a simple prompt. Okay, then second it is a reviewer who reviewed and make it better. And at the end we get the final result. So the final result thing I'll copy from here. Okay, let's say agent 2, agent 3. I'll copy everything. Okay, and then I will just paste it in some sort of notepad kind of thing so that I can use later on, right? So I'll open up a notepad and I'll paste it over there. Okay, so let me paste it and then I'll share it with you. Let me show you once again. So here I pasted it. Okay, and this guys we will use in our Flowise thing, right? So let's get back to the Flowise. Okay, I'll close it, go back to our agent, right? So where is our agent? My RAG agent, here is it, right? And then here I will start adding the prompt. Okay, so what is the name of our first worker? The name of our first worker is Knowledge Explorer. Okay, so I'll give it a name, Knowledge Explorer. The second worker name is what? Content creator, which will write a blog and it will write a 5 tweets, right? Okay. And the third worker name is what? Information structurer, that will just create a structured information to be saved. Okay. Thereafter, I will pick this thing that is the prompt that we have, right? Like this, and we'll paste it over here. Okay, looking good. Then I'll pick the second prompt for the agent 2. I'll take it from here. Okay, as a content creator, what you need to do. That means I'll take it from, I'll show you where I'm taking it. So I'm taking it from here. That is the second agent prompt, right? And then I will use it in our second worker. All right, here I'll just put it. Then we'll pick the third agent prompt. All right, like we'll go here and here is a third agent prompt, right? I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here, right? So let's paste it. So I get the prompt of all the three agents and we told them that what they need to do, right? Now we will give the information to supervisor like how it needs to function, right? So I'll say that over here, you start with whom it should start? It should start with the first worker, right? And what is the name of first worker? Knowledge Explorer, right? So I'll say you start with Knowledge Explorer, okay? Pass it to the content creator so that step by step it should do the job and it should not get confused with all the workers. And lastly, right, to whom lastly we have I guess structure or something, right? The content is structure, right? So let's take the correct name, information structure. All right, so we will say what lastly. Oh, what happened? Just went somewhere. And lastly to the information structure. Okay, spelling and this thing is not that important, it's fine. Okay, and then I'll save this thing. So now this is the initial structure that has been created. Now comes to retriever tool. Retriever tool name had been given, but you can see there is a star mark over here. That means we can't leave it blank, isn't it? This star mark we have to fix. That means we need to connect something over here. Now question is, what should we connect? Here we will connect a tool that can actually read the PDF file and can store the information in a vector, right? So first we'll connect over here in the retriever the vector store. So I'll call over here vector store. Okay, so let it be appeared. I'll just call it. Now what is vector store? Here you can see in memory vector store may be there. There are a lot of vector stores are there that you can use, right? But if you use others, you may require API. In memory vector store is free. Okay, so is it not appearing? Let me just search over here in memory. In memory, right? So in memory vector store that stores embedding and does not exec linear search on most of the similar embedding. That means when you upload a document, okay, that document information will be connected over here, right? And that would be stored in a vector. What it means, okay? So let me just try to explain it over here. See, here when we upload a document, right? So that document will contain lot of text. Okay, but machine or any computer program, will not understand what text is written. Right? Suppose it is written, I am working. Okay, so machine will not understand it, right? To make a machine understand, these things are converted into numerical form. Okay, so that machine can operate on it and try to learn from it. Okay, by any machine learning or neural network model, right? So that numerical form are stored in the form of vectors. Okay, so basically this guy will do what? This guy will store the same vector information about your data, right? The numerical information about your data, right? But where is data, right? So data will also connect over here, okay? And here we will connect the embedding thing. Okay, that means who will convert? This thing can only store. This thing can only store this information over here. But who will convert your information into numerical form? The conversion of text data into the numerical form or numerical vectors, isn't it? This is called what? Word embedding. What do we call it? We call it word embedding, right? So that means we need a kind of a tool which can convert the information into a vector form, right? So let's take that tool that can create the word embedding. So for that, I'll go again over here and search for embedding. Okay, so let's say I'll just search over here embedding thing. So I'll get over here OpenAI embedding. There are a lot of embedding things are there, right? But since we are using right now OpenAI, everything we are using OpenAI, so embedding also will use from the OpenAI, right? So this OpenAI embedding is having what? Here I have to just connect our credential, that means same API key like we connected earlier, and as well as some of the embedding, like 3 embeddings are there. This one you can use, which will be little cheaper compared to others, right? So now this thing, like suppose if you are working with some very complicated data and this embedding is not working good for you, you can go for this thing. That is also not working good for you, you can go for large scale embedding. Okay, it is just the information, that means every word is having some vector form. Okay, like for example, if I talk about this thing, okay, like good, okay, good, okay, like I'll say like travel, some random word I'm taking. So these words are having some vector information like the 0.12, 0.13, 0.76, 0.85, like this. Okay, these all words are having some vector information. Those vector informations are stored in these embedding models. Okay, are being created and stored through these embedding models, right? Now we want our own data to be converted into vector. So my own data, how it can be converted into vector? Okay, if I will have this embedding model with me. Okay, here I'll connect my embedding model, and at other corner we will connect what? A document reader. Document reader means what? Some kind of tool which can read the PDF file. So let's go here and call for PDF. Okay, and then when I have the PDF file, I'll just attach it over here. Okay, so now if you see, I have a PDF file. This PDF file thing can do what? Can just be connected right here like this. You can see here. I'll just arrange it so it is little larger. So many things we connected. So here I'll connect the PDF file. Okay, so now my PDF file information, it will be like we have two things. One is embedding model that is having the information, the numeric vector information about each word or text. Then here we'll upload our PDF file. So my PDF file information will be converted into a vector form, and this guy will be responsible to store everything. And from this guy, retriever tool will retrieve the information and give it to the worker. So when you will ask any question about that document, okay, suppose you are using a document for fitness, okay, for kind of a for some fitness training, right? Now, if you ask that document, how can I be fit? Okay, you have a document already uploaded about the you have an uploaded document about the fitness training. Okay, so this document is having the information actually. So you're asking your agent. That agent will do what? Will try to understand what you asked with the help of already connected OpenAI model, right? So once this OpenAI model will understand, right? Now this worker is also having the information about your text, and this worker will also have the information that what you asked, right? So what can be the very close answer to this guy, okay, can be picked up and can be answered, right? So this thing we are asking in the form of words, right? But LLM model is doing what? Is first converting these things into numeric form or numeric vector, and based on that it tries to understand it. That's why we are also converting our document into the numeric form and then using it, or vector form. Not exactly numeric form, we should say vector form. Now over here, how can we upload the PDF file? See, I already have a PDF file that I'll show you, and I'll upload that, right? So let me show you the PDF file first. Okay, so let's say this is a PDF file that is a LangGraph training, right? So what it means, this is just kind of for some training exercises and all. Okay, so I want my model to get trained on these particular information, right? So what I need to do, I need to upload this guy, right? So to upload this guy, what I do, I'll click over here, upload file. Okay, I get the option like this to upload the things. I'll show you here. This thing has been opened up to upload the document. Okay, like here. So I can click this thing and click on open. All right. So it will be uploaded, right? All right. So now it's uploaded over here. If you see, all good. Then one document per page, you can connect as many document as you want. Right. Now, can we use it? Yes, we can use it, but it is always good that you should use a text splitter. Right. Now, what is text splitter? Right. So let me just use a text splitter over here, then I'll explain it, right? So I'll just call over here text splitter. Okay, so yeah, so here is our recursive. There are a lot of text splitters are there, markdown text splitter, HTML code text splitter according to data that you have. So I'll use what? Recursive text splitter over here. I'll just drag and drop here and then I'll arrange it. Okay. So what this text splitter is having, see, I get a lot of queries like this. For example, people says that we have a very large scale data, right? So when it is having a very large scale data, sometimes model don't pick all the informations. By default, what model will do, your LLM model will just will work good for the initial set of information and at the end. Okay, it's very often, it's very normal that model actually skips, so many LLM model skip the information that is over here or learns very less. Okay, model try to pick very less information from here. Most of the time model try to pick information from the top and to the end, right? So this thing can be fixed by using what text splitter. Okay, here we will create a chunk of different information that we have. That means what, instead of passing the whole information as it is, we'll create a chunk over here, chunk of 1,000 words like this. Okay, like this. Okay, so when you ask the question to your agent, right, agent is connected to LLM model, and that guy actually know that your question, the answer of your question or your question is related to which chunk. Like suppose I have 5 chunks. Okay, now suppose you ask any question, what is DC training, right? So now your agent actually knows that where it needs to go. Okay, because it is having a chunk of data. Suppose this particular information exists in chunk 3, right? So it will just go to chunk 3 and pick the information and give it back to you, right? And then what is this chunk overlap? So chunk overlap is like, see, there may be some information which exists here as well as here. Okay, some of the questions for which information is existing here as well as existing here. So we don't want it to lose anything. Like suppose it is picking up from chunk 3 and some information also in chunk 4. So it just picked up the information from chunk 3 and answered you. So that can be incorrect, incomplete. So we use overlapping over here. Okay, 100 words of 200 words of overlapping, for example. Okay, so that if any information it is getting from this overlap section as well, then it will also consult the second chunk. All right. So it is done just to make sure that your model can function well on a very large scale data. Right now everything is ready over here. Only one thing that we have to connect, which is called write tool, so that I can save our model, right? Sorry, save our final outcome, because this worker is also responsible to save everything, right? So I'll call over here write tool. Okay, write file. Okay, and you know how to use the write file? To use the write file, we can connect it over here. Okay, and here I can give the location where I want to save my file. Okay, so let's say I will take it from the desktop and I want to save it in the same folder that which we generally use for saving our all the files. So I'll show you the location and then we'll try to use it, right? So let's say this is something that we want to use. Okay, let me first show you desktop. Okay, so here this is a location which I want to use. So I'll copy this location, and at this location I want to save everything, right? So I'll get back, okay, and I will just try to save it over here. Okay, let's save it over here. All right, so now I had passed all the information. So most probably it will work. If it will not work, then we'll check what can we do. So first I need to again save it. So when I save it, you'll see icon over here, right? What is this icon? This icon will be used to upsert means what? Read your document file. Okay, like all the RAG process, right? Recursive text splitter will split the things. PDF file is there, in which you already we have a PDF file that is attached. Thereafter chunk size and other things are there. Then we have the embedding part, which will be helpful in embedding or converting your text into the word vectors, and this will be responsible to store everything in your vector database. Okay, so now if I click upsert, it will take some time to process, and then it will give you the things like, okay, this is my first chunk, thereafter second chunk, then third chunk, then fourth chunk. So everything that we get, right? That means if I ask any question, any kind of information from here, it will try to answer from that particular thing, right? Now I'll close this thing. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, and then I will do what? I will open up my chat option over here, right? So let's open up and let's try to ask few things over here. All right. So I'll ask it, what is PC training, or you can say how PC training helps. Okay. So I just ask it and let's see what it is doing. So it will try to, now the first thing, it is knowledge explorer. So gather detailed information about DC training, including its benefits, content, information structure, this one, right? So now it tried to give the information from the doc reader. So in the doc reader, it reads this thing, doc crap training, overview, core principle, this one. So you can see this is a doc. From here, it tried to read doc crap training, overview, core principle, this one. The same thing is written and same thing it reads from here. And once it reads from here, it had given this information from the document. All right. It had given the information over here from that particular document. Right. And thereafter we have, it is doing next thing is what? Content creator. It is creating a content for us. Right. And the third, it is information structurer is just kind of a structuring the whole information for us. All right. So now it is structured. And is it saved somewhere? Yeah, it is saying that I saved it. Okay. So how can I confirm whether it is saved or not? So let's get back to the same location, right? And thereafter, let's check if it had been saved or not. So it has been saved over here as a blog and text tweets, right? So let's open up the blogs part over here. Okay. And why it is not open? Fine. This is a blog part, I guess. All right. I'll show you DC training blog right here. So I'll show you the blog part. You can see this is a DC training blog, right? Next, it also used the tweets, right? So let me just open up the tweets as well. Okay. And then we have a tweets thing also appeared, DC training tweets. Okay. That is being created, right? So that means this thing is functioning very well. And this thing is using your own document to do the stuff that you want it to do. Fair enough? All right, you can ask few more things over here based upon your document. So let's go to this document and check core principle. Thereafter, we have over here why it works. Okay, so thereafter DC can be customized. Okay, so it's a very small document. You can try with a larger document as well. Let me ask it why DC training works. Okay, so I'll ask this guy and let's see what it is doing. First, knowledge explorer is going on, or it's doing its some kind of activity. All right. So knowledge explorer did its activity over here. Okay. Organize the okay, fine. Here. Doc reader, right? So doc reader did what? It first reads this document, and based on the document, it will try to answer me. Right. So why it works? I asked it. Based on the document we have, it just generated the outcome and had given me the output. It also saved everything. So that's how it works, or you can say, how can we use our document to create a RAG-based application or RAG-based agent, right? So again, I'm repeating everything. First, we created three different workers, a supervisor and LLM model. Then we added all these things for retrieving the information from a PDF file. This guy will be the retriever tool, which will retrieve the information, but to retrieve it needs the word vector. So first we have these two things which are very important. Here we are reading the PDF file, and here this is responsible for converting the text into word vector. That word vector will be stored over here, right? And from here retriever tool will retrieve the data and will give it to the worker. Worker will working in synchronization with the supervisor. Supervisor is connected to OpenAI LLM model, get powered up by OpenAI LLM model. So when we ask anything, this OpenAI LLM model helps your agent to understand what you ask and then finds out the most relatable answer from the information it is getting from retriever tool, right? When you asked, your worker will try to find out the most relatable information from this particular retrieval tool data. Then it will go to worker 2, which will create content, and the worker 3 will save everything. Very soon, we are going to create some sort of chat application or agent which can be integrated to the websites using these kind of codes and all. So stay tuned, keep learning. If you find anything which is not clear, you want me to explain, let me know. Let's just comment down your thoughts and we'll try to explain that in detail. Thank you everyone. Have a great day ahead.